Welcome back to the homestead, everyone. Today we're here in front of our well house and winter is starting to hit. It's fall now and it's getting colder. I know that's relative here in East Texas, but we still are in need of insulating our well house because, as you know, last year, if you watched that video, we had a well tank freeze and the pipes explode. So I didn't get all the water out of it properly. So now we're going to insulate it and make sure that it stays nice and toasty inside our well house. Stay with us and see what we do. So since this is a well house, it's really going to be nothing fancy. In fact, on the homestead, you know the need to use your scrap materials and to save a penny. And that's always what we do here. So we're going to be using some scrap and some new material to insulate the well house. On the back of the door here, and we need to insulate this door. This is actually, I didn't build this well house, but this is actually an interior door. It's fine, it's painted, I've repainted it, and it seems to be holding up all right for now. But on the back of it, we have screwed some 1-inch rigid foam insulation. And we're going to find another piece here for the bottom of the door. We haven't finished that yet. So on that back of the door, to give it some insulation, we're going to have this foam insulation. We're also going to be doing that on the ceiling, and let me show you that. So I've just started here on the ceiling to show you what we are going to do. And we've got these rafter ties that go straight across on our, to tie in these two really simple cut 2x4 rafters here, roof rafters, and this tie that comes straight across. On the bottom of the tie, we're going to take our rigid insulation and we screwed it in to the bottom. We're going to do that all the way over to the end. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me a little air gap up at the top to keep some airflow up in there to keep the moisture at bay. Here I wanted to show you the tools we have for the job. We've got a piece of scrap 1x to cut our batt insulation on. We've got our fiberglass batt insulation. We have our level here that we use to actually cut the batt insulation. Of course, we've got our razor blade. We've got staples and screws. We've got our silicone sealer, of course, our measuring tape, our drill driver, a good heavy-duty staple gun, and of course our great stuff. And that's all you need. Now, something that's really important when insulating a structure is air penetration. Air penetration causes the biggest heat loss in a structure. Not a lot of people know that. You think it's just the thickness of the insulation on the walls, and that's partially true. But the air that's escaping through and causing drafts everywhere is the biggest cause of heat loss. Now, what we've done here, since it's just a well house and it's simply constructed just from 2x4 framing and this corrugated on the outside, it doesn't even have sheeting or sheathing, is just take a can of this great stuff called Great Stuff. Love this stuff. And we sealed all of our air penetrations. So we did the best we could. Now, this was reclaimed, galvanized siding here. And what you also want to do is look for any holes in it and seal them up with a good silicone sealer. Now, we've done that all throughout here, so we don't have to worry about water penetration from those and also air penetration from those old screw holes. As you can see, we've sealed the bottom all the way around where that corrugated hits that sill plate. And also we've got up in the corners up here, of course, around the window, and a close-up of where we sealed where they actually pieced two portions of the corrugated metal together. That insulation is simple to cut. Simply measure your wall height on the inside of your studs from your sill to your top plate. Transfer that measurement on here to the batt insulation, and I make two marks, one at each end. That ensures it gives me a straight line. Put a piece of wood underneath where I'm going to cut. I'm going to hold down our metal level, which is our cutting edge, straight down on the batt insulation here, and just run our blade right along the edge. Should only need to do it once. Sometimes there's a little part that doesn't make it all the way through. That's really simple to fix. That's all it takes. To hang your batt insulation in the wall, simply snug it up inside, in between your studs, and pull out the paper tab. We're going to staple it directly to the stud. It's that easy. Now lastly, we're going to staple our additional pieces of batt insulation up onto our roof rafters. Now I do understand that there's no baffle or air gap between the roof and the batt. I may change this, but again, it's a well house. It's just put together really simply. If it does get some moisture in there, I'm not that worried about it, but I do understand the proper way to do it. This way is just a quick way to get some warmth in here, and it can be changed really quickly. So the last thing we're going to do is we are going to buy an insulation blanket for our tank here. Now this well house currently just serves the irrigation on the property, our barn. So it's the barn, some water spigots all over the property. They're run to the orchard and just kind of all over the place. One of the previous owners used to have a small greenhouse operation, so there's water run everywhere. It's run to our garden, barn, etc. We don't use this for the house yet, but to transition to off-grid, we will be using this for our home eventually. So we want to continue to upgrade this well house. We'll be putting in a larger tank or a series of tanks, and I'll do a video on that. But as of now, we use a community well, which has about 300 homes on it, and I sit on the board of directors, so that's helpful too, and the water's really fantastic. That happens out in rural areas in a lot of places, especially in Texas. So we hope you enjoyed the video today. We're always glad that you join us and you're here with us, and we want you to subscribe. We want you to be here with us on a permanent basis, and we've got a ton of subscribers coming in every day, and it's so exciting, and our family's happy, and we're happy making these videos for you and doing things here on the homestead that I hope are useful for you. So thank you everyone, have a great day, and we will see you on the next video.